commercial is such a fun combination of proud and ashamed.
Yeah.
That
there are so
is
many,
really magnificent.
Many of the Heritage Minutes are legitimately like, hey, here's a cool thing that Canadians did, or here's a cool thing that happened in Canada. But there is a certain subsection of them that are like, hey, this is a thing that we did. It's a part of our heritage. We're not
great,
proud of it.
Yeah.
But
you should know about it.
You should be aware of this, and and I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate it. They're like, look.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. I haven't watched most of them in a long time, but on Canada Day, with the members of my Discord, I did a watch through of all 96 extant Heritage Minutes.
Dang.
And
it's 96 minutes.
Yeah, it was like perfect. Like,
well,
movie
it counts
length,
as
basically.
1.5
It counts
times.
as but it was interesting to see both the eras, because they more recently in 2015 they started doing them again and made newer ones.
Yeah.
And there's this little stratum in that era from 2015 to 2020 where they're extremely the Canadian military is rad, but the everything before that is mostly really not super sugar-coaty on the history of Canada, and is a good mix of different sources of heritage. And a lot of them are just like the basketball one, taking credit for things that just have a tangential relationship to Canada.
The telephone.
Or we make things that are not that amazing, a big heritage thing that everybody knows. Every Canadian knows the hockey sweater story.
Yeah. Again, because of an animation about it.
Yeah.
From the actual film.
Oh right, yes, Pat Bear, Superman.
The Superman and Winnie the Pooh.
Yep.
Right.
Is another
yes.
one.
This one's great. Winnie the Pooh, the original story, not written by a Canadian. The bear that inspired that story.
Oh my God.
lived in the Winnipeg Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
And was named Winnie.
So we're like, great, write that one down.
That's ours.
That's our bear.
We contributed.
And I believe Winnie was the mascot of
a Canadian
regiment in the Second World War.
Of a Canadian military regiment. Yeah.
Oh, bother.
That's a good one.
That's ours. So I don't think most of the people outside of Canada watching the closing ceremonies of the 2010 Winter Games from Vancouver appreciated this, but they did have a segment in the closing ceremonies where Michael J. Fox came out and gave an extended speech about how we will claim you. Right? That it's if you passed through Canada and then did something cool, we'll be like, that we helped. Right?
Yeah.
And, we're watching it being like, I feel like Canadians were watching it being like, well, yeah, but Mike, it's not funny though. Don't tell people. And I think people from outside Canada were like, what is this?
Keep it under your hat, eh?
What's Marty saying? I assume that's what that was.
But then you watch a movie or any kind of big public event with Canadians, and every time an actor who happens to be Canadian comes on, they'll go, Canadian,
That's
eh?
Canadian.
Source. Growing up with my parents. Every time.